What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I know it's been a while since I've done anything like this, and thank you so much for coming to hang out. Moved, had a lot of things going on, real life. Had to go ahead and get taken care of before I could start really streaming like that again. Just want to make sure everything is good. But Saturday, was kind of feeling under the weather. I have been actually all week. Feeling a little bit better, so I decided that I wanted to have something else to eat besides fruit and soup. So I'm deciding to do like sort of a breakfast for dinner kind of thing because I wanted some steak. I had it was like some steaks on sale, bone-in ribeyes for like $20, and I got like three of them for $20. So, and they're pretty nice size. I'm gonna show you in a minute. But I'm just gonna hook some of those up in the air fryer. Now, I've cooked some steaks in there before. I believe it was a New York strip that I cooked in there, and it was delicious. But I was curious to know how a bone-in ribeye would fare in that. So, um, looking forward to trying that out. I'm also going to be cooking up just some simple potatoes. Um, I was going to use some onion, but then my children were like, no, don't put no onion in it. So I'm just going to kind of hold off on the onions. But just some simple hash browns, seasoned very nicely, and a cheese egg roll up. I love making this cheese egg roll up because essentially it's an omelet, but it's rolled. So it's like a Japanese omelet. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a very thin omelet that they take and they roll it up. And then, they cut it so you get to see the egg layers. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yes, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Should take steaks should take about maybe 20 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm gonna turn it over. And we can go ahead and get that started now. Actually, so here are my steaks that have been washed and dried off because I was advised that if you're going to cook steaks in the air fryer, that you should dry. First of all, bring them up to room temperature. So never cook a steak from ice cold. You know. Anyway, it ensures even temperature. I mean, even cooking. And then you're going to, of course, rinse your steaks off. Make sure any bone fragments or anything are not on there. And then you're going to dry them off very nicely. You're going to take a little bit of olive oil. In this case, I don't have olive oil, so I'm just going to use some of the vegetable oil that I have. Fill up my cap. And then I'm going to take it, just put a little bit over each steak. Just like that. I'm going to get some gloves because I'm actually going to rub. Can you see that? There we go. I'm actually going to rub the oil onto the steak before I start putting the seasonings on it. Now, I'm going to use one hand that's going to do all of the rub. What's up? Hi. Go ahead. Um, so I'm going to get my garlic salt, Italian seasoning. And I'm only going to use a little bit of the Italian seasoning on the steak because most of that is going to go into my butter sauce in a minute. Some crushed red pepper flakes. I would typically use black pepper. In this case, I've been having some issues with my black pepper grinder, so I'm not going to use that today. And I like the taste of crushed red pepper anyway, so I think that'd be a good addition. And then onion powder. Now, I mentioned the butter sauce that I'm going to be doing later. Basically, I'm just melting some butter And I'm going to put some seasoning in it. And once the steaks have rested, I'm just going to put that butter all over it. You won't even need steak sauce because it's going to be that good. Some people just still want it. That's fine. Some people are connoisseurs though. They want just the meat, just the flavor of the meat itself. So I get that. But that's just going to add some nice little flavor profile to it. But I will not add the garlic salt to the butter because that'll make it too salty. So what I'm going to do is just add some regular garlic powder and a little bit of crushed red pepper and the Italian seasonings to that. So I think that's going to be good. But get some gloves. Get some gloves on. Well, one. And the oil that I put all over the meat, I'm going to go ahead and start rubbing the oil all over the meat. And get the bone too. I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing. After you rub the meat on one side, you're going to turn it over. Put a little bit more oil on the other side. And then you're going to rub it all over. Because think about it, when you're using the air fryer, there is no fat that's going to help that meat cook. So whatever you put on it is what's going to help give it the brownness, the color, all of that. And help your seasoning stick too. Try to get around the edges of your meat too. To ensure, especially like this little fatty part, make sure that gets a little brown. All right. So now we ball up our fists, take our gloves off carefully. Wash our hands still. And we're going to start the seasoning process, which I'm going to get another glove to do so. Right there for now. Now, I doubt all three of those, even though this is a pretty big air fryer. It's a power air fryer from Elite. I doubt all three of those steaks are going to fit in there. So I'm not going to even try it. I will try to get two in there, though. See if that works out. All right. So I'm going to start off with my garlic salt. Now, you use this just like you would use salt. And that's the beauty thing. That's the beautiful thing about it. Especially if you're trying to make sure you are trying not to develop high blood pressure or trying to keep your high blood pressure in check if that's what you're going through. You know, you want to kind of definitely limit the amount of salt that you intake. All right. Red pepper. Now, of course, you can feel free to season your steaks how you like. That's just what I like to do, and it gives it a really nice flavor. I'm only going to use a little bit of the Italian seasonings, like I said, because most of that seasoning is going to be in my butter sauce when I use it, and then onion powder. But yeah, you can use whatever seasonings that you want, whatever you like on your steak. Some people are just salt and pepper people. Some people like to have a whole host of different seasonings on it. It's whatever you like. But I think these flavor profiles work really well together. And we use our gloved hand to turn everything over and season the other side. You know, it's what I can't understand. Like, I'm on TikTok, right? So I typically watch different people do different things on TikTok, getting ideas, right? I can't understand why people only season one side of their food. I don't get it. And you think that that's going to be enough? I mean, I guess if you put an extra amount of seasoning on like a burger or something, maybe you can get away with it, but it just doesn't seem right to me. You know, you got two sides. Season both sides. You know? It's nuts. But yeah, man, y'all better be careful with this COVID thing. It is back. few of my family members got it. A few of my friends got it. I possibly have it. So it is. I haven't gotten tested yet because my symptoms haven't been as bad. I have some. I'm just not sure. So I was gonna give it another day or two before I went to go get tested. So I've been at home and just been trying to stay out of people's faces and all that kind of stuff too. So just protect yourself because it is no joke. Okay, so it's out the way. So open up our air fryer. Now I'm gonna cook these steaks on 400 for 20 minutes total because I actually want my steak to be more on the medium, medium plus, maybe like medium well side. Because I'm feeding my little ones. Now, if it was just me, I probably would have went like maybe mid rare to medium, but I just want to make sure everything's nice and cooked. So with my gloved hand, I'm going to take one of these beautiful cuts of meat, put it right down inside of it, and it is big enough to house two. So I'm going to put my other one in here as well, and you're just going to have to wait, buddy. Okay. Now, beautiful thing about this, there are settings already for. Who is this? Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Double O. for for those who don't have to stop just for a second. For those that don't know, my friend here, Double O, um he runs one of the best e-feds, wrestling e-feds that I am a part of. I'm a part of a lot of different e-feds, a lot of different sports communities. Because Lord knows I'm not getting ready to go out here and go wrestle and go play football to go play. No, actually not doing that. However, I get involved with a lot of different things, and that man right there has been a listening ear for me. Has been there through real life stuff, helped me out. Um, but he runs a UFC e-fed. It's kind of like it's if you like UFC fighting, then you'll love that. So I will leave his information. Actually, if you want to go ahead and put your information in our chat, that'd be great. So people can join you, come check you out. Double O, I really appreciate you for even just stopping by. It's just a simple cooking stream, but I'm still glad you're here, man. All right, so I got these steak. This last steak, I'm gonna put to the side for now. And then, beautiful thing about the air fryer is that it has different settings. So you got a fry setting, you have a roast setting, you have a shrimp setting, you have. If I wanted to bake a cake in here, I can actually bake a cake in here. Dope, right? So I'm going to go, and you got a chicken, you got a fish, and you got a steak setting. So I'm just going to push my power. I'm going to push my menu button all the way till I get to steak. Now, you can put it on this, but it's automatically going to give you a timer of 20 minutes. I'm not feeling that temperature. It's at 320. I don't think that the steak is going to come out as beautiful as I want it to. So I'm going to bump it up to 400, right? And I'm going to cook it for 20 minutes, but I'm going to stop at 10 minutes and turn it over, check it, make sure everything's good, because this is my first time doing a ribeye bone-in like this. But I'm going to check it and see how well it comes out. All right? And then, hey, man, if you're trying to save money on your bills, listen, the more you use things like this, air fryer, or like something that you just plug in, rather than turning on this big stove. Now, I have a big, beautiful stove, as y'all can see. Love it. You know, love cooking with fire. But, gas prices, my utility bills. I got to make sure I keep that kind of stuff in mind, too. So, cooking with air fryers, cooking with things like toaster ovens and stuff like that can save you some money in the long run. Byron Morris. What's up? What's up, Byron? Thank you so much for stopping in as well. Appreciate it, brother. If you missed it, I'm doing some air fried ribeye steaks. I'm going to saute some potatoes to go with it. I was going to do onions and potatoes, and my children don't like onions. They were just getting on me about it. So I was like, all right, I'll leave it out. And then I'm gonna do some eggs, but I'm gonna do like a kind of like a Japanese egg omelet kind of thing. So see if it works out. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right. So speaking of fire, this I will actually have to use my fire. I'm gonna put it at a relatively high heat. So I'm gonna do it at 6. It's not gonna be on high, but it will be where I can get like a nice little heat going on these potatoes so they can get a nice color. On here, I'm going to use a little bit of oil and also some butter, about 2 tablespoons of butter. Because my thing is, if you're eating some potatoes, I cannot have my potatoes without at least a little bit of butter. The only thing I'll be missing is a little bit of sour cream, but that's all good. All right. All right, we're going to let that do its thing right here. And then while that is melting up very nicely, because I'm actually going to use the same pan to cook my eggs in, so I'm going to need it. I want to take this and start cracking my eggs for my Japanese omelet. Move you back a little bit, buddy. Uh-oh. I adjusted the time. All right. So make sure your ass don't burn. Okay, there we go. Here we go. That's it. There we go. All right. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and crack my eggs. So y'all like, why is she just cracking eggs with just one hand? So, funny story, while I'm doing this. I used to manage restaurants. I used to work at a lot of them. One was a breakfast place that was based out of Chicago. Loved that place. Not sure if I could say the name, but loved it. Right? So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One shift, I decided I wanted to work the line. I'm one of those people that if I'm bored, I will just wash my hands. I'll just try my best to learn everything that there is to know about everything, right? All right. So one day I said, hey, I want to work on the line with you guys. And to my surprise, the manager was like, all right, cool. This is before I was actually, well, no, this was after I was in management because I was in management when I was at the steakhouse, not at the breakfast spot. But anyway, so the manager was like, sure, we're actually short a chef. You can go ahead and come on. I'm like, cool, go, love it. All right. So my first shift, guy was like, Ashley, this is a breakfast spot, so we got to get these eggs out real fast. So here I am breaking the eggs, right? I'm gonna take this off the heat for now. Just taking them, breaking them real slow. He was like, that ain't gonna work, Ash. You need to learn how to break them with one hand. I'm like, bro, what happened if I get shells in it? Well, just take it out, but you're gonna have to learn how to do that. I messed up at least 15 eggs, just putting the shells in there. But I wound up learning how to do it properly. So that's why y'all see me just do that. And no shell. All right. Gotta get my cheese. All right. So now it looks like my butter is melted and it's nice mixing with the oil. You also want to mix butter with oil too. If you know, like I like to taste the butter and I like to taste the brown butter. But sometimes if you're making a dish, it does not require brown butter. It could taste a little off, right? But the potatoes I'm not really worried about. But when you add oil to your butter as it melts, it keeps it from burning. All right. So I'm gonna put this back on the eye. I'm gonna add my potatoes. Just some hash browns I got from Walmart, something real simple. And you want to make sure, now listen guys, your hands aren't conditioned to be putting your hands in hot, on a hot pan or stuff like that. Don't do it. Just because y'all see me doing it, I've been doing it for a while. So, all right. So, use that in the freezer. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to go ahead and get your potatoes in there nice and coated. What I like to do is start seasoning it a little bit, but I'm not going to add the salt quite yet because it keeps your food from browning when you add the salt. Salt draws out a lot of water, and then it'll turn into steam, and then it'll take a longer time to cook. So you're just going to take your spatula, just simply take and toss all of your potatoes into that butter and oil mixture so they're nicely coated. And then you want to make it as even as possible so that all of your potatoes can cook at once. They can all get nice and brown at one time. Okay. Now I'm going to start adding a little bit of red pepper flakes, onion powder, and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Okay. Gonna let that do its thing. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my eggs mixed. Now I learned this little trick a long time ago from a chef called Alton Brown. I'm not sure if he still makes videos. I know he was trying to get back into it, but love Alton Brown. But he says you take you a little bit of water, just a little bit, 1, 2, that much, and then you add it to your eggs when you're mixing it. Why? Because you want the steaming effects in your eggs to make them nice, light, and fluffy. And your potatoes or anything else like your meats that you're cooking, you don't want that moisture there because it's going to have that steaming effect. But with your eggs, you want that. So you just make sure you mix them so they're nice and, y'all see? Yeah. Mix them so they're nice and well incorporated. And by the way, whenever you do your egg roll up, the Japanese style omelet, you're definitely going to need 2 spatulas because you're going to have to flip that bad boy. I'll put this right here for now. Yep, so I got my potatoes set on 6. I got my eggs mixed. I got 1 more minute before I actually have to flip my steaks. And I'm actually anxious to see what that looks like too. So I'm gonna show y'all when the 10-minute marker hits, which is actually coming up real quick. And that's the beautiful thing about these air fryers, at least this one. There is a timer that kind of keeps you up to date with how much time is left in here, just in case I guess you got to flip it or whatever. It automatically shuts off, so it won't burn your food. And if you cook it for the recommended time, your item should come out pretty decently. Like I said, just that 320 cooking steaks just wasn't gonna work for me. All right, so we're at the 10-minute mark. Okay. So that's what they look like so far. All right. So I'm gonna flip them. good. Got a nice little brownness to them. Okay. Switch positions. There we go. Awesome. So this is the other side. Can y'all see that light? Yeah. There we go. All right. So there we go. Got that working. 10 more minutes. Then we're gonna take those bad boys out and let it rest. Then I'm gonna cook my last steak in there. I need to get a resting plate now that I'm thinking about it. All right. So what I'm going to do, so I can clean up my station. I'm going to get some foil to actually allow this steak to rest on. And it was recommended. So I'm going to go ahead and try that one. Try that recommendation. Go. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Just making sure these potatoes, you don't want to turn the potatoes too much because then they won't cook. I'm kind of an anxious person at times when it comes to that because like I want to see how beautiful and brown they came out, and they are okay. Yeah, they're getting beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip these. You know, see how brown? You probably can't. I don't know if y'all can see how brown they're getting, but it's nice and beautiful brown that they're turning. The only thing that I like to add to my potatoes that I'm actually missing right now is paprika. I love the taste of paprika on my potatoes. I just didn't go to the store and buy any. Kind of disappointed. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yep. Don't have it. Spread them back out. Make sure they continue to cook. And now, since they are getting that beautiful brown color that we like when it comes to hash browns, I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic salt now. All right, beautiful. And while we're waiting on that, I'll go ahead and get my butter ready. So in this pan, I'm going to take the remainder of this butter, which is 5 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to melt it. Now, as y'all can see, it's actually soft. You can take this butter as it is and put it in a container, mix it with all of your garlic, whatever seasonings that you like, that you want to pair it with. You can even make a blue cheese butter if you want some crumbled blue cheese inside, and mix it together, and then put it in the refrigerator and let it set. We can use that for multiple dishes. In this case, I'm just going to do this a little bit differently, and melt the butter slowly on the smallest eye I have. I'm going to put this pretty much on low because it's going to take a minute for everything else to get ready. And now this is where I'm going to add my garlic powder, not salt. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. So I'm going to add my garlic powder because my butter is already salted and I do not want it to be over salted. So I'll probably say maybe a half a tablespoon of garlic powder. And when you taste it, you can of course adjust it any way you want. Italian seasoning, which is one of my favorite things, about a half a tablespoon. I would say probably a half a tablespoon of everything. Onion powder, same. And then pepper. So you're going to have those same flavors throughout the entire meal. It's just some of them are going to be a little bit more pronounced than others. But it should all make a really good dish at the end of the day. So now I'm going to start cleaning up a little bit. And I got 5 minutes left on the steak. Excited about those. Be right back, y'all. All right. So, as y'all can see, the butter is melting up beautifully. Well, you probably can't see it. It is melting up very nicely. And as it's melting, I'm kind of rolling the other butter, well, the butter inside of the seasonings so it can kind of mix together. Check on my potatoes. Yeah. See? Now, I don't know if y'all can see that brownness now. Can you? Maybe a little bit. But yeah, they're definitely getting beautifully brown quickly. So I think maybe just a few more minutes on these potatoes and they're done. It's very important to taste your food too, y'all. See if it's seasoned properly. 3 more minutes on the steak, so I'm gonna take it out and let it and see what it looks like. Yep, that's it. That's it. When you already add components that already have salt, like the butter that I added earlier, plus the garlic salt that I added, it doesn't overpower it. It doesn't make it too salty. It actually winds up blending it together very nicely. So it's just about little bitty tricks you can do to still eat really well and have tasty food, but just not adding so much of the bad stuff in there. All right, my herb butter's coming along very good for the steaks. Let's see. Steam a little bit more. The potatoes are still working. I got 2 minutes left on the steaks. Once the steaks are ready, I'll go ahead and start the eggs. That'll give it enough time to rest. Actually, I may want to wait. I think I'm going to wait about 5 minutes before I start on the eggs because the steaks have to rest for at least 15 minutes. So, we'll see. All right, and there it is. That little beep lets you know that the steaks are ready. Now, of course, when you sear a steak, it has that beautiful brown color across the whole top. I'm noticing with these, still beautiful brown color, it's just not across the top. I don't want to risk overcooking the steak though. See what I mean? Still looks beautiful, you know? So, oh, it's cooked beautifully. That's cooked perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and end the cooking right here for this. Put it on my resting plate. Okay. Put the last steak in here. Set it. Turn it on. Set it to steak. But you're gonna bump up the temperature to 400 and set the timer for 20 minutes and start. Anytime you handle raw meat, guys, you want to wash your hands. Okay. Anytime, I don't know if y'all heard me, but anytime you mess with raw meat, you always want to wash your hands as often as possible to avoid any bacteria cross contamination. That stuff is real, y'all. You do not want to get sick out here because you didn't wash your hands while you were cooking. It's not a good feeling. I'm trying to tell you. All right, so it looks like my potatoes are ready and they are beautiful and brown. Okay. All right, so since they are ready, I'm going to take these out, put them in a bowl to go on the side, and then I'm going to get ready for my eggs. Okay. All right, there we go. Pan, beautiful. However, I'm still going to rinse it off, cool it down a little bit. Careful doing this, guys, because the pan is still hot. Okay. I'm not going to put it directly on the eye right this second because I want to make sure I move everything else and clean up my station real quick. All right, so now we're going to put this back onto the eye. I'm going to use a little bit of oil. Again, I'm going to be using some butter, so I don't want my butter to burn in the process. Now, this is just going to be a little bit, like maybe, um, I would say a quarter size of oil. I'm going to use another, I'm going to use a tablespoon and a half of butter here because I need enough to coat the entire pan. And you want to make sure that you take the time out to work the butter in all the cracks and crevices all across your pan because you don't want any of the eggs to stick when you're doing this. Actually, I don't even know why I put my seasonings up. I am supposed to season my eggs. All right, all right. So as y'all can see, this pan is well coated with butter and oil, including in the middle, which is what you want to see. And since I do have a little bit more oil, so guys, just use 1 tablespoon because the half that I actually put in here is a little bit too much. So now I'm going to take this and put it in my butter for my steak, and then let that mix together with this. All right, and I'm going to turn that butter off because it's nice and melted now. Don't need it. Now I'm going to pour my eggs. I like to start in the center and let it just kind of go all out. Your objective here is to get the entire pan coated with the egg mixture. Okay? Okay? Make sure you got your 2 spatulas because you're going to have to do some nice flip work. And don't, when I first made this, I messed it up, like I butchered it. So, I mean, essentially, it's still edible. It's just not, it's going to be as pretty as you probably planned it to be, but it'll work. All right, so I'm going to get my seasonings back out. I don't know why I did that. A little bit of crushed red pepper. Garlic salt. Just a little bit because you remember you already put the butter in here, so it's going to be kind of salty. And then you're going to be adding cheese. I don't know if y'all realize it, but when you add butter, salt, and cheese, that's adding, even adding cheese is adding more salt to your dish. So just got to be careful with that. And my onion powder, where are you? On that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, one part, now see, you can, it's starting to set up a little bit. I like that. I'm gonna have to move this around just a little bit. So kind of like if you guys ever grill, you know that you have a hot point and a cold point on your grill. I have the same thing on the stove, especially on this middle eye. For some reason, some of the stuff likes to get done a little bit faster than the rest of it. So I just simply just shift it on over. All right. And as your eggs are starting to set, you want to, I like to just move my eggs a little bit. Be careful when you're doing this, guys. So you want to take your spatula, grip the pan, move your eggs inward a little bit so that the rest of the egg mixture that's on the top can fall into the place that you're moving it and continue to cook that way. All right, just like that. So now the little part that was on the top that wasn't really cooking that well has been moved into the pan so it can. Now you can add your cheese. The last time I made this, I used sliced cheese because I had like a surplus of it. And I'm wondering if the sliced cheese or the shredded cheese is going to work better as far as how it melts. We're going to see. Okay, so you put the cheese all over it. One sec, guys. All right, so I can see that my egg is pretty much ready to be folded. Now, last time I did this, it came out beautiful. So, I hope it's going to be the same way. All right. So I can see my egg is starting to kind of grow out the pan a little bit. That's awesome. So you want to take your first spatula and try to get under there as much as you can. First of all, I'm going to turn my eggs down a little bit and move it onto an eye that's not on. And try to get both of your spatulas underneath the egg, the omelet, okay? And then you're going to take it and you're going to flip. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Flip. And then you're going to take your pan and come back like that, okay? Can y'all see? You're going to take it underneath the egg roll, right? Hold it like this. Make sure you make sure both your spatulas under it. And then you're going to flip it again. And it looks like I lost a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. It wasn't a total fail. But ultimately, it's going to look like this. Don't drop it. See how it's like a roll? And all of your cheese is going to be inside of it. And so when you cut it, beautiful. So what you're going to do is kill the heat here and take it off the eye because it's done. Basically, you're just kind of letting it cool off in the pan a little bit. And since we're at 10 minutes now on the steak, I'm going to go ahead and flip that one. There you go. There we go. All right, so looks like we're about ready to eat, y'all. All right, we'll get the plate. Get one of these beautiful steaks over here that has been resting. My potatoes. some of this delicious egg. And see, when you cut it, then put some of the beautiful butter seasoning on it. Make sure you kind of mix it up before you pour it on so everything is well incorporated and you're not just pouring oil or you're not just pouring butter on it and not your seasonings. Okay, so I wish I could see a little bit better. But this is the end product. And like I said, is it going to look like a restaurant quality steak, like as far as looks are concerned? You know how you used to see in the diamond marks, how you used to see in that beautiful brown color across the entire steak? No. But what I will say, it looks like it's really juicy. So I'm going to try it. My freaking oven book. Yeah, see? Yeah, this is gonna have to work for now, y'all. First thing I'm gonna try are the eggs. That's delicious because it's nice, fluffy, and light, and you can tell the layers in the eggs because you have to flip it. Beautiful. Beautiful amount of cheese because you put it all over it, so it's kind of rolled up in there. Nice. If you like cheese, if you don't, go easy. Potatoes. Mm-hmm. Mm. I can see the potatoes and eggs by themselves, but we're gonna go for this steak now. So what I like to do, especially when I'm doing cooking streams, is I cut in the middle. Now if I'm eating this, normal, I'm just gonna start from the outer edge. Beautiful color on the outer edge. I love that. I'm gonna cut it in the middle, see what temperature I got. I was going for a medium well temp. All right. And it looks like that's what I got too. So no blood for y'all that's kind of squeamish, but it's not all the way killed. Like some of y'all be like, oh my God, it's shoe leather. So it's in the middle. It's nice. And it's juicy too. It was juicy before I put the butter on it. I don't know if y'all can see it though. Y'all might not be able to see it that detailed, but I'm going to try it now. Air fried, bone in ribeye, cooked to a beautiful medium temperature. Lemon butter. I'm sorry, not lemon butter. It is herb butter sauce. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. I'm glad I did that. Um, it's delicious. Is it as delicious as it would have been if I would have cooked it on the grill over an open fire? Not quite, because when you have um, that fire kind of kissing it, and you get that beautiful smoke flavor into it, that's a whole different ballgame. But that is fantastic, especially if you don't want to kick up the grill. If it's like 1,000 degrees as it is outside in Arizona right now, now it's not really that bad. It's like 90. We have had those 120-degree days that were not fun. But, um, but yeah, if you're just looking for a new way to kind of cook a steak, of course you can always pan sear it. You can always finish it off in the oven. You can always do different things. But sometimes when you don't want to turn on a big oven, you want to try to save some money, especially on utilities, like I was saying earlier, getting an air fryer, getting something like that that can kind of stand on your counter and cook a meal for you would definitely work wonders. I'm happy I have this. Um, yeah, that butter, bro. Okay. um, but yeah, I would definitely invest in an air fryer if you don't have one already. Try to get one of the bigger ones so you can cook like a small chicken, a whole small chicken. You can do a whole lot with this little thing here, and you'll save money. So my food is ready, y'all. So I'm going to go. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. I really appreciate it. I will try to do more of these. Um, like towards maybe like now towards the end of the year. If you have any suggestions or anything that you want to try, that you want to see me try to cook, let me know. I'll hook it up as best as I can anyway. Thanks so much, and I'll see y'all soon, okay? See you later, peacemakers. Damn, that's good.